Hi guys, it's Colleen from Siempre Soul 1111. I hope you're doing well. I apologise, I've been off the grid for a few weeks. Life's been a bit crazy, work's been busy, amongst other things, so I just haven't had time to upload. YouTube takes forever, or my internet does, when it comes to uploading videos that I've recorded. So I'm going to try recording the videos live and see whether that sort of enables me to upload them a bit quicker. So yeah, I'm busy getting that set up sorted so I can start sort of doing videos a lot more regularly. Usual intro, I've got an Instagram page where I'm uploading twin flame readings on there on a weekly basis, and I also do sort of elemental reads and monthly reads by star signs. So if you don't follow my Instagram already, please feel free to go over to Siempre Soul 1111 on Insta and give the page a follow, and you'll be kept up to date with visual readings during the course of the week, and I post loads of sort of, I don't know, inspirational quotes also. I also wanted to say thank you very much to everybody who subscribed to the channel, and thank you so much to the current followers for being patient with me getting these videos uploaded. I'm still sort of in the throes of getting the channel versus work and stuff balance correct, but anyway, that's for another time. So we're going to kick off to the videos today with the twin flame reading for the Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine. I'm going to attempt to do these two readings together back to back. So I'll do the feminine first, then the masculine second, rather than having the videos separated. And I just want to see if that works a bit better when it comes to uploading on YouTube. It's probably my internet or a user issue because I'm not the most technical minded person on the planet, but I do my best. So yeah, this reading we're going to start off with the Divine Feminine for this coming week, the energy surrounding the twin flame connection for that. And then after this I'm going to individually record another reading, but it's going to have all elemental signs within the one, and then I'll timestamp them. So I'm going to see whether uploading sort of two videos that covers all 6 areas will be better with YouTube or not. So we'll see how it goes. So if the format's slightly different to what you're used to, please bear with me, and I will timestamp this intro so most of you can ignore it, and then obviously I'll detail in the bottom when the feminine reading starts and then when also the masculine reading starts, so you guys can see it all in one place. So we're going to start as we usually do with the Divine Feminine, because I always generally tend to upload that video first. Just going to give the cards a bit of a shuffle. I've also got this new deck that I'm really excited to share with you. I ordered them from the Awakened Twin, and they're oracle cards where there's communications from the Divine Feminine, and then there's also communications from the Divine Masculine. So I thought it'd be quite cool to kind of incorporate a couple of these cards within the readings, so it's a discussion between the two as well, which I thought was quite a nice addition. So I'm going to start the reading off with that as well. So, you know, what does the feminine want to say to the Divine Masculine from the twin frame Awakened Twin Oracle deck? I'm going to just take from the top and the bottom, and the first card out of the deck here is I'm not afraid to shine. So for me, the energy of that is about feminines focusing on themselves, focusing on love for self, focusing on your own healing, and trusting that union is within yourself and reunion is with your twin flame or your Divine Masculine. The other card that I've pulled from the Awakened Twin Oracle deck is my path will continue to be revealed to me. So this is telling feminines of where I feel the energies are, and actually where I've seen the energies on the readings that I've been doing over on Instagram. You know, the feminines are, or the collective that I'm picking up on at the moment, the Divine Feminines are very much in the headspace of surrender. They're focusing on their own healing, their own development. And with surrender, you know, that card is pivotal to demonstrating that actually surrendering to the outcome of the situation with your masculines or the twin flame connection is also having sort of complete and unwavering faith in that what's meant for you will be. And I feel that there's been some, you know, certainly with the readings that I'm doing on Instagram at the moment and the energies that I'm picking up from the collective, is that, you know, feminines are taking that time out for themselves. And I do feel that with a reading that I did just yesterday actually for twin flames on there, the energies for the feminines for me was more about finding, having confidence in faith. So when you look at this process, and not everybody has to agree with me here, but the way that I would look at this is that you you focus on surrender, which is releasing attachment to the outcome of reunion with your twin flame or your divine masculine. But also having faith is a separate topic to surrender. And that's also equally as important in the process when it comes to sort of surrendering to the outcome, which I did a video on a few weeks back, as you know. But also having complete faith that the universe has got your back surrounding this particular connection, and not wanting to chase, run, influence the overall outcome. You know, it's allowing things to breathe and progress in an organic manner in the right time, and trusting that things are divinely guided. So what we're going to do, feminines, now is we're going to take a little look at what you're thinking about the situation with tarot cards. And the overall energy for this in your headspace, what are you thinking, is the World card. And we all know the World is about bringing cycles to an end. In the major arcana, the World card is the last card, you know, of the Fool's Journey. And it's a card for me that's very symbolic of victory, but also symbolic of having sort of one foot here in the 3D, in the physical, and another one in the 5D, you know, or in the divine. It's kind of trusting yourself and the universe to deliver, you know, to manifest. I mean, obviously we can do a separate video about manifestations and meditation and how thoughts become things. You know, if any of you haven't ever watched it, there's a great video called The Secret, which discusses kind of quantum physics and the way that what you put out into the world comes back in layman's terms. So it might be worth a watch if you guys are looking for some inspiration here on manifestation and taking that sort of leap of faith, because the first step in this journey is about taking that leap of faith, which is surrendering. It's having faith and, you know, bringing that cycle to a close. And the World card can be symbolic of new beginnings as well. We've also got here in the headspace the Two of Pentacles, and we know that, you know, twos are about finding balance, feminines, and kind of, again, interestingly, you've got two characters here that are kind of doing a bit of a tap dance, and I think at points, feminines, and this is actually came up in a reading yesterday for the Divine Feminines, you know, surrender is one part of this process, but having faith in the process is also another. And if you doubt either of those things, when, you know, the ego can slip in, as we all know it can, with that doubt, you're emitting that energy out. So the two things in having faith in the situation completely and unwavering faith and just letting go, the two things kind of for me go hand in hand. You know, what's destined for you will be yours, and what's yours is it will come. You know, and it's believing that fully. So again, I feel that this has been a bit of a balancing act for you guys at the moment, and I'm not here, you know, to say that you know, feminines, you're not doing a great job on the surrender part. If this is, you know, if this resonates with you, it's more about getting to a stage where alongside the surrender, you've got that balance of faith that's right. You know, we all have crap days and, you know, doubt and can feel insecure about a given situation. But it's being able to sort of remove the negative connotations and the negative attachments, emotions, thought patterns. So again, as I said to the masculines in my reading on Instagram this week, you know, if there is negativity or doubt creeping in your mind, you know, try and reprogram that as it happens. So if you feel yourself, you know, that ego slipping in, trying to protect you because this situation is making you feel vulnerable, not wanted, abandoned, rejected, whatever it may be, whatever that trigger is, try and shift the thought patterns surrounding it to something more positive. And when this happens to me, I do my best to kind of question, as you all know, what is this trying to teach me? And in trying, surrender, but then still having doubt is sort of teaching you that you haven't got the faith to back it up. So the tools that I would give you guys in this situation is to try and shift the mental thought patterns, because your thoughts control your feelings and your feelings control how you behave. So if you're in a position where you can, I suppose, reprogram the mind to not think from a negative or a position of putting yourself down, even feminines, because the self-talk that goes on in our minds is really, really important to be positive and reinforcing and to build you up rather than knock you down. The world can be a very, very cruel place at times, and you don't need to be cruel to yourself. So, in these given points when you're having any doubts or reservations, or you're scared or you're not sure, try and reprogram that thought pattern towards something more positive. And I would ask you to focus on 3 things that are positive to every one negative situation that pops up in your mind, and see over the next course of this next week whether that helps you, because it seems to be quite a common thing. And I think once you find that balance with the 6 of Wands here, this card is about victory, it's about success, it's about, you know, you've got 2 wreaths in this for me, 3 in fact if you include the one that's on that character's head here. You know, and this is about sort of not just being victorious over surrendering the, you know, the union and to the twin flame connection and all this other lovely stuff, but it's about sort of surrendering your thought processes towards yourself too, because they don't belong there. You deserve better. Yeah? I hope that helps a little bit. We've also got here, which is really interesting, the Ace of Cups in the headspace, and the Ace of Cups is one of my favourite cards. This is about love for self, and again this came up in the masculines reading for me that I did on Instagram yesterday, and the Ace of Cups for me, you know, yes, we all know aces are new beginnings, and look, it's about making a decision to have that new beginning, to start a new cycle. And to do this, you need to invest in yourself. I gave a friend of mine, Lisa, some advice yesterday about not pouring from an empty cup, because we, you know, in life when we're all so busy and there's so much going on, we have a tendency, I think, you know, when you're an empath as well, you have tendencies to kind of overgive and not always get the same back, and then you can feel disappointed. And I said to my friend yesterday that, you know, the first priority in your life should always be you first. And the reason that I can tell you this categorically, feminines, and any masculines, hello, that are cross-watching, is because with my own experience, being unwell this year and not knowing what was happening, I realised that all of the things that I dreamed and wanted to achieve, all of my bucket lists, were not possible unless I took care of me. So when you talk about looking after your family, being there for your friends, your job, you know, all of these things require an energy. You know, they require time, love, energy, patience and resource from you. And if you don't fill it up your own cup, you're going to soon find yourself in a deficit. So feminines, the advice of the cards at the moment in your mental space is to focus on looking after yourself, filling your own cup, to focus on finding a balance with, yes, I've surrendered to this connection, but I have faith that's what's meant for me will come. Yeah, that needs to be your mantra. And any negative thoughts or doubts that, you know, reservations that creep in your mind, I would advise you to focus on 3 things to change that from a negative to a positive, even if that's just the way you think about yourself. You know, looking in the mirror, oh, I don't like my hair today. You know, change it to something more positive. Focus on the things that you do like. Okay, my makeup looks nice. Whatever, however it works, feminine, for you. You know, we've also got here the 8 of Wands, and the 8 of Wands for me is about sort of fast-moving communication, but it can also be about travel. So there could be, you know, some of you feminines are taking some time out and you're going to go travelling for a little bit. But it could also be that there could be some rapid communication coming into you that you're not going to expect. You know, 8s are about movement and change. And when you've got the Wands coupled with that, we're talking about movement in the next week, not months and years. This is, you know, with the Wands, you're talking the next week. I'm going to pull some clarifiers for you, feminines, in the headspace. Take a little look at the overall outcome. But, you know, the overarching energy of this is having faith that your path will be revealed, and actually being proud of how far you've come so far, you know? Okay, so let's take a little look at the clarifiers for this in the headspace, feminines. Sorry about the waffle. I just kind of talk real time, so sometimes these videos can be quick, sometimes they're not. Just bear with me, okay? Yeah, look. Hermit card, overall outcome, going within, taking time to trust yourself, you know, taking time to reflect, time to contemplate. Yeah? Maybe perhaps also with this, I feel a little bit that with the communication, the 8 of Wands in the previous part, maybe this communication is going to be a trigger within the next week for you to kind of spend a bit more time going within. You know, rest is key, and also loving self is also about taking that time. You know, sometimes, when people talk about solitude and spending time on your own, you know, they say to you, oh, isn't that lonely? But for me, sometimes having solitude is a place to gain clarity, because the less noise there is around you, like I call it white noise, because there's plenty of that going on inside our heads every single day. And it's being able to sometimes disconnect from the noise of life and being able to reconnect with yourself. you know, and as you disconnect and things become quieter, not just around you but within you, that's when your intuition and your higher self can connect with you, and that voice becomes louder, and that voice, as it becomes louder, will become more reassuring throughout this process of awakening and your journey with your twin flame, you know. And it's drawing the strength and the courage from that, you know. We've also got the Five of Pentacles, which is, again, about feeling left out in the cold. So I feel a little bit here with that clarifying the Two of Pentacles feminines. I feel it sort of mirrors that. I don't feel it's about your masculines leaving you out in the cold. I feel it's more about you leaving yourself out in the cold, you know, and not really making a decision about how to move forward with this conflict. And I feel a little bit like the conflict is surrounding actually communication. Do you reach out or don't you? But I feel, you know, with the energy of the collective at the moment, feminines, that, you know, now's the time for your masculines to do what he needs to, or they need to, and, you know, for them to step forward. You know, clarifying the Six of Wands is the Queen of Wands, or rods as this deck call them. And that's, for me, is about sort of stability, knowing when to move forward, when to act, when not to act. And I do feel, feminines, that you guys have done a lot of work to get to that Queen of Wands, you know, during this awakening process. So, you know, don't put yourself under too much pressure, you know. Clarifying the Ace of Cups, we've got the Four of Pentacles, and we know that fours are about stability, laying foundations. Pentacles can be about money, but I feel in this given situation, it's about, the energy for the Four of Pentacles is always, for me, about holding on. It's about not letting go or holding on. That's generally the energy. And I feel a little bit like this is about you letting go of that confidence in surrender, but not as much confidence in faith. It's letting go of the doubt. It's releasing the doubt in here and in here. We've also got the Knight of Wands here, clarifying the Eight of the Eight of Wands. And I do feel that this Knight of Wands is your divine masculine. You know, for a little while in the collective, if you guys are resonating with this, you'll know that there's been feminines, you know, you're holding space at the minute and you're focusing on your own growth, progression, healing, etc. And the masculines kind of know, based around the energies that I, you know, for the readings that I've been doing over the past few weeks on Instagram, that, you know, the masculines know that they're going to need to step forward at some point. But you've got to also remember, feminines, that this will come when that's divinely guided to them. You know, they know deep down, as they start to tap into their own intuition and their own guidance more, that actually this isn't something that can be sort of preordained. It's something that is going to feel, when it feels right, it will happen, and it's going to be fluid, and it's releasing and letting go of the need to have that structure or that foundation when it comes to knowing the outcome of this situation, and allowing things to sort of, the ebb and flow of things to organically happen. You know, with the Ace of Cups on there as well, you know, with the water, for me, that's about ebbs and flows. It's about letting the, you know, the connection and the healing process for each of you heal and grow and evolve at the rate that it needs to. You know, don't try and force it. Okay, feminines, we're going to move on to taking a look at what's going on in your heart space, how you're feeling about this given situation, and then once we've looked at that, we'll go on to pulling a few oracle cards for additional guidance, and then we'll be able, you know, bring your reading to a close and move straight into the divine masculine one. But, you know, looking at the phrases that you're saying to yourself here, feminines, you're not afraid to shine. Stand in your light. You know, sometimes things don't make sense. Sometimes situations can take you by surprise, but it's going with the flow of it. And interestingly, you know, the skills and the experience and the knowledge that you gain in surrender and having faith in the universe, and, you know, in that life is divinely guided, you know, having that faith, suddenly these sort of skill sets and this healing that you go through becomes so, the skills become transferable into so many other areas of your life. It's unbelievable. So in the process of you healing, you're not just focusing, and because this video is specifically about the twin flame connection, or this reading, I'm talking to you as individuals here on the soul journey and the process of awakening, because we, you know, twin flames, meeting your twin flame is a catalyst for awakening, and you can't can't walk back through the door. Well, some can, you know, but the truth is, it's once you're awake, and there's only one direction you can go from there, and that's a journey. It's not a destination awakening, I don't feel. I'm learning stuff new, you know, for every day, but the more I connect with people like you guys, and it's just wonderful. I've had such wonderful interactions with people. Hi Anya, if you're watching, by the way. But yeah, let's take a look at how the divine feminines within this collective are feeling about the situation with their divine masculines. So I'm going to split the deck and we'll take a little look at what's happening here for you guys. Overarching energy healing, 4 of Swords, yeah. Taking time out for yourself, finding that stability. It's about laying foundations, I feel, like I said in the headspace. You know, swords are about thought-based patterns, so I do feel a little bit. And interestingly, you've pulled 3 swords, 3 cards from the sword suit in your heart space at the moment, feminines, which tells me that there's a bit of a conflict going on between heart and head here. And when you go within and, you know, your hermit mode and focus on your 4 of Swords, focus on your own healing, I feel that, you know, this is a time for you to mentally walk away, mentally let go of the things that are keeping you in that 2 of Pentacles energy where, you know, a decision needs to be made. Reprogram those thoughts. Like I said to you, 1 bad negative thought, replace it with 3 positive things, or 3 things that you're grateful for. You know, start changing the frequency into something that's more empowering and more positive. Yeah? Because, you know, with the 5 of Swords, you're talking about conflict within, mental conflict here, and walking away. You know, you need to walk away from being so trapped in your mind and letting the mind take over. Let your soul lead. Be guided by your intuition. It's never wrong. It's never wrong. You know, you've got the Judgment card here, which is about awakening as well. So, you know, this is about focusing on your own awakening, your own union within, and your own healing. Because, you know, the 9 of Wands for me is, how can I describe the energy I'm feeling on this? For me, the energy of the 9 of Wands is it can be a bit about being a bit of a victim of your situation and feeling a bit sort of battered and bruised with life. But for me, I feel the energy of this is about you coming out of that mentality, walking away from bashing yourself over the head and doubt and worry or concern or insecurity or hesitation, whatever it is, you know. It's about moving away from that. You know, they've got their back to back here. And 9 of Wands for me also is about strength. It's having the ability to overcome. It's saying, you know what, I'm ready for that last fight. Make that 9 a 10. You know, it's almost like, yeah, it's been tough, but guys, you're nearly there. You're nearly there. Positive reinforcement for yourself, you know, because being trapped and stuck in this place, you need to move away from it. And look, these guys are back to back too. Sorry, 1 second, it's my phone. Hey. I'm back, sorry about that. That was me uncle coming round to quote some painting work for me outside in the hallway, and I forgot he was coming. So, my mistake, but anyway, let's go with this. So yeah, we were talking about the 9 of Wands and the ability to overcome and the energy surrounding that, and you know, moving towards focusing on healing of self. I'm going to pull some clarifiers for you, feminines, in the heart space so we can continue this reading on. But yeah, sorry about the interruption there. Oh, interesting, in reverse. Okay, so we've got the 7 of Pentacles here. And 7s are about having faith. But it's also with the 7 of Pentacles, this is about sort of that feeling of, the energy I feel on this is you doubt sometimes whether the seeds that you're sowing are worth the fruits of the labour, if that makes sense. And I feel a little bit like there are points where you question and doubt this connection, and this is about moving away from that. you know, putting in the hard work, but really not knowing the overall outcome, just having a sort of unwavering faith in the divine and in the universe that it will deliver. You've also got here Pentacles, and this is about taking time out for yourself, being assertive. It can mean being single. So again, for any of you feminines out there that are single ladies or single people, you know, it's about taking that time to enjoy yourself, you know, it really, really is. We've also got the devil here clarifying this, and that's clarifying the judgment card. So again, for me, the devil card is about, it can be about toxicity. So I do feel a little bit like with the nine of wands energy, the hermit, with the, you know, the 7 of pentacles energy. This is about moving away from being so toxic in your mind, shifting your thought patterns from, you know, negativity into something more positive, you know. These two are complete opposite energies, you know. And again, that kind of demonstrates the duality surrounding the 2 of Pentacles energy, which was in the headspace. You know, it's about being one or the other. And I know which of the two I would prefer, because this one is certainly, you know, more light and happier. We've also got clarifying in the 9 of Wands, the King of Pentacles. And again, the King of Pentacles is about finding stability within yourself. Feminine, excuse me, I've got hiccups now. It's not my day, is it? And it's the King of Pentacles is a... It can also mean about focusing on financial stability as well here. But I do feel that with getting, obviously, the Queen of Wands and the King of Pentacles, it's about finding stability within yourself and finding that balance, you know, and balancing your own masculine and feminine energies. We've also got here, interestingly, clarifying the 6 of Swords. We've got and I don't take reverses unless they come out of the deck that way, yeah? And the 10 of Wands came out in reverse. So the 10 of Wands are about completions, about cycles coming to an end. And also the 10 of Wands can be about feeling burdened. You know, the image on this card is struggling to hold on to those 10 of Wands. But it's about bringing those cycles to a close. And I feel a little bit like if you don't focus on your own healing and moving towards this, the outcome of this is that, you know, you're going to be stuck in this 9 of Wands energy, just feeling sort of overburdened and heavy and just a bit bashed in by the connection. So with getting the 10 of Wands in reverse tells me that once you move towards the focus of healing and having the faith and focusing on yourself with you know, with your Ace of Cups and moving away from negative and toxic thought patterns about yourself and the situation, that cycle of feeling burdened is going to come to a close. Because in the upright, for me, the 10 of Wands is about feeling burdened. This way, it's about the opposite of that. Okay? So, you know, I think the message here, you know, is clear here for you feminines for this coming week on the energies. It's about, you know, focusing on yourself, remembering mentally to not, you know, you can't pour from an empty cup. You know, shifting your thought patterns from negative to 3 positive things or positive affirmations, and moving forward from there. I'm going to pull a few. I'm going to pull you one romance angel oracle card. These are by Doreen Virtue. I'm just going to pull you one of these for, you know, this coming week for the guidance. And when I say week, this is up to, you know, next Monday, because I know I'm running super behind with my video schedules at the moment. But bear with me, I'm human. Right, let's take a little look. Pay attention to the red flags, the signs of cautioning you. So again, I feel, again, a little bit with this in terms of like your circumstances and this reading. I feel a little bit like it's being paying attention to those red flags. It's the same advice I gave you feminines in the beginning of this reading about recognizing negativity when it happens and being able to retrain the mind to perceive it and process it differently. So again, it's paying attention to yourself and those thought patterns so that you can shift the focus and in turn raise your vibration. I'm going to also pull you a single card. These are also by Doreen Virtue, and these ones are like Daily Angel cards, and they'll just give you a bit of additional guidance for this coming week, feminines. But these are not always in the context of love or the twin flame thing. These are just in general. So just split the deck and take a little look. Opportunity to forgive. This situation brings you the opportunity to heal, grow, and release negative patterns. What was I saying earlier? Hold the intention of seeing the other person's inner divine light and goodness. We will help you release unforgiving thoughts, feelings, and energies, and lift you to a higher place of peace and compassion. So again, when we spoke about the Four of Swords energy there, feminines, about healing and taking that time out for yourself. When I said about quieting the noise, you know, reducing the white noise in your mind, this is about connecting with yourself. So the angels and your inner self can reach out, can connect to you. You know, the quieter you become, the stiller your life becomes, the stiller you become as a person, emotionally, mentally, physically as well. You will, you know, the more of your soul you'll hear. Okay, we're now going to move on to the masculine energies for this coming week. So again, feminine cross watchers, keep watching. Divine masculines watching, welcome in. I've got some new cards here, masculines, that are from the Awakened Twin, their oracle cards. And we're going to start your reading for this coming week up until Monday next week with what you would like to say to your divine feminines. So I'm just going to give this deck a bit of a shuffle. The format for those of you that are watching straight away from the off is I'll look at your, you know, what you're thinking about the connection and how you're feeling about it as well. Okay, this one jumped out. Oh, that's very interesting. So the first card out in terms of what you want to say to your feminine is, I want to communicate with you, but it's not time yet. And do you know what, guys, this energy has been consistent for me with my readings on my Instagram page this last week. You know, masculines, you want to step forward, but you're just not quite there yet. You know, you're trusting and following your intuition on when and how is best to do this. So again, your message to your divine feminines for this coming week is that you want to communicate with them, but the timing is not right. I'm going to pull another card from this deck. This is from the Awakened Twin. And I thought it'd be quite cool to add this. And masculines, are you dreaming of your feminines all the time? Yeah. I think in dream state is when you can, you know, you can travel and connect. So let's take a little look at what's happening. So what are you thinking about the current situation with your twin flame connection, divine masculines? Feminines, he wants to tell you that he dreams of you all the time. Pronoun ignore, okay? We all know now that we're talking about energies, and for the sake of simplicity, I will use the pronouns of he and she, but the energies are interchangeable. Just as the context of these readings are. Take what resonates with you, leave what doesn't. If it doesn't resonate, then, you know, the reading is just not for you. Okay, masculines, let's get busy with this. Let's split the deck and take a wee look at what's happening. What are you thinking at the moment? Overarching energy, Six of Cups. Is there an apology on the cards on the horizon? Communication, wanting to step forward, wanting to make an offer. Sixes are about problem solving, having compassion. What does an apology bring? It brings harmony to a situation. Woohoo! Masculines, you're mirroring your feminines here with the Two of Pentacles energy. This came up as the first card in their reading. And this, you know, that was about decision making, finding balance within. And I guess at the moment, masculines, there's still something that you're focusing on too. So you guys are definitely mirroring one another. I can see that you obviously want to communicate and the timing isn't right. But I do also feel perhaps for some of you masculines that there's, you know, the communication or the thing you want to communicate about is an, you know, an offer, it's an apology, it's a token. With the Page of Pentacles also, this is mirroring that for me. You know, pages are about communication and incoming communication, but they're also, or messages, and they're also, for me, the Page of Pentacles, he's kind of, it's the stable energy out of all of the pages, and it's going to be slow and steady. So I do feel a little bit, masculines, that when we talk about, you know, Pentacles, we talk about slow moving energy. So I do feel that this communication that you want to have with your feminines is not going to happen anytime soon. You know, that you're resisting the urge to, you know, rush forward with the Knight of Swords energy, because I think you're pretty sure that if you step forward in the wrong way and you don't get this balance right, it's going to lead to more upset, and you want to prevent rather than cure, which I completely get. Oh, I'm going to write that as the title: Prevention Better Than Cure. Okay. So we've also got here for you masculines in your headspace the Eight of Cups. Cups are about emotion. They're also about movement. This is about, you know, walking away from that I feel with this energy in the past, perhaps there's been some, you know, some pretty brash communication. Yeah, it's been a bit curt, upfront, blunt, you know, but it's been a reactive response rather than a thought out, methodical, slow and steady response. We've gone from reaction to action. Yeah, and the you know, having the Eight of Cups back to back with this Knight of Swords tells me that you're wanting to move away from reacting to this situation, and you need that time to think it through, you know, and you're moving towards the Two of Pentacles, which is, again, the Two of Pentacles is about balance. It can be also about duality, so it could well be for me about finding, you know, a better balance within yourself, masculines, and also, again, I guess learning to juggle the whole concept of the intuition and this connection as a whole, you know, because I'll be honest, it baffled the feminines too, you know. Oh wow, this fell out of the deck, so I've got to take it as a clarifier. Queen of Wands. This came up in the feminines reading as well, in exactly the same headspace. So we've got two cards here where you're mirroring one another. You know, I can see at the moment that what this, you know, in this reading, masculines, this is how you're perceiving your feminine at the minute, and that is that she's, you know, she's in a Queen of Wands energy, and that she's, you know, standing her ground, and she's patiently holding space, knowing that when the time is right, you'll appear. Wow. So overall outcome, masculines, if you've been suffering with any doubt, any hesitation about moving forward, believe me, when the time is right, you will know. And the Magician clarifying that as the overall outcome in your headspace is that you have got all the tools to do the job. You know, your manifestation's on fleek, it's on point, and you're in a position where, you know, once you feel, you know, rightfully guided to step forward, you will. And when you do, the outcome's going to be a good one. Yeah, it's going to be positive. We've also got here the Knight of Swords clarified, and again, I only take reverses when they come out, is the Moon in reverse. Now, the Moon in the upright is about deception, and this can be about deceiving yourself. So I do feel for a small while, masculines, that the energy surrounding this connection and your ability to understand it, empathize, whatever the word is that you want to use, the realization of it has caused you to move away from wanting to kind of shut the situation down, and you're more in a place of moving out of that situation where you're deceiving yourself surrounding this connection. You know, you don't want that anymore, and I can see that through your healing and your processes of purging and all the triggers that have happened during this recent separation phase with your feminines, masculine, I can see that you are moving away from denying yourself what you intuitively know to be the truth. Yeah? But that takes time, and trust me, the feminines will vouch for that. It takes time. It does take time. It's a journey, not a destination. So you go at a rate that's right for you, you know. Clarifying the Eight of Cups, you've also got the Six of Swords here. And the Six of Swords, interestingly, is about moving away from that situation. And look, these guys are facing the same direction. So for me, this is about mentally and emotionally, because swords are about the mental faculty situation, and the cups are about emotion. So I feel that mentally and emotionally, you're in a position where you are moving away, because your back's towards that Moon card in reverse. You are moving away from the situation of denying this connection and your knowledge of it. And that's absolutely, absolutely wonderful. You know, clarifying this with the Eight of Cups is the Two of Pentacles, and that's about moving away from that indecisiveness. You know, you're focusing on walking towards that communication and that apology with your your feminine. And you know what? When you get there, you know it's divinely guided. You will know when the time is right. And feminines, you need to have faith, hold space, and trust that when the timing is right, the masculines will step forward and do what's right for them. You know, this journey's about each other as individuals, but that's union within, masculines, and it's also about reunion without, if that's divinely guided for you. Right, masculines, we're going to move on to how you feel about the connection now. So I'm just going to do a few shuffles. But again, if you haven't already done so, masculines, anybody that's watching this channel, I've got an Instagram where I do a couple of twin flame readings a week on there and by elements. So feel free to go over there and follow the channel or subscribe to it. Anyone that's watching this that hasn't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please hit the subscribe button and hit the little thumbs up, because it helps YouTube channels. It helps YouTube channels on YouTube if there's a little thumbs up feedback on there. So thank you. And if you have any questions or there's any videos that you would like me to discuss or talk about, feel free to put some bits in the comments, because I'll be more than happy to read them and see what I can organise. As I said, the channel is very, very new. I'm a bit scatty and I still haven't decided the complete format. I'm still trying to figure out technology and how things work. But if you didn't hear this masculines in the feminine part of the reading in the intro, I will be looking to potentially, because I'm having internet problems, or it's probably more user problems, with uploading videos on YouTube, I'm going to start consolidating them and see whether that works better. And then if that doesn't, I may well start doing these videos live, because I think if you do them live, it streams directly up to your channel and stays there. So that might be a bit of a better route, but I can waffle on a little bit. Sorry. It's been a little while and I've got loads to say, so just bear with. Right, let's take it. Oh. Gosh, you guys are mirroring each other so much. Okay, so overarching energy in the heart space is the Ten of Cups. And masculines, you know, that is about happiness, fulfillment, you know, emotionally bringing that Eight of Cups, moving towards your Ten of Cups. You know, that's moving towards fulfillment and emotional satisfaction. We've also got the Seven of Pentacles, which came up in the feminine's reading in exactly the same heart space. So we've got a bit more mirroring going on here, guys. And again, I think that both of you, and I think anybody on the twin flame journey, will recognise that sometimes it can feel a little bit like, I think most people would be honest in saying that they at points have wished it never happened. The awakening process hadn't started, because they're just full of all of this angst and confusion and turmoil and feeling a little bit like you're crazy. All of this stuff goes on, and you know, anybody that's gone through an awakening process in the main will concur with you guys on that. So it's perfectly normal to feel that way during this process. And you know, it's hard work, but you know, you've been chosen because you're strong. You got this. You can do this. Okay, let's take a little look at what's happening. Nice, swords has come up again, masculines. Definitely fighting the urge. Okay, so clarifying the Seven of Pentacles, we've got the Fool card. And what's really interesting in this is in the feminine's reading, they got the World card in their headspace. And the Fool is the start of the journey with the Major Arcana, and it's taking that leap of faith. And the World card is the end of that Fool's journey within the Tarot deck. So you guys are kind of mirroring each other with start and finish as well, you know, and new cycles ending and new ones beginning, which I think is really beautiful. Now, the Fool card is a message to you masculines about taking a leap of faith. So I feel the energy for this part of this reading for you guys in your heart space is very similar to that of the feminines. And it is that you've got to trust the process. And you've got to trust the process. You've got to trust your intuition. And you've got to take that leap of faith. The word faith is exactly that. You know, it's having faith in the situation. And that takes courage to even take that first step on the journey, you know, but you're there. And, you know, yes, fine, at times it can be really tough mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and even physically, actually, because there are even symptoms there with Ascension. But, you know, the work will be worth it as long as you keep the faith. That's a song. I'm going to write that down too. Right, anyway, sorry. So clarify, you've also got the Three of Wands. And the Three of Wands are, the energy can be a bit like waiting for your ships to come in. But again, threes can be quite unstable. Quite unstable energy for me. But they're also, in that instability is where you find growth. So I feel that instead of being in a state of contemplation, you're now moving towards focusing on yourself, and again, this being clarified by the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords. This came up in your headspace too. So again, it's about moving away from the mentality of reaction, and moving more towards thought-based action, but also being patient with yourself and the situation, being patient with your intuition as you connect with that more. We've also got the Ace of Wands here, and the Ace of Wands is about new beginnings, and it's about, and I'm going to use this term because it's my catchphrase for this card, it's my Harry Potter wand. And it's about waving that wand and just, your wishes coming true. And, you've got that wand. And if you think about the Magician card in the previous reading, this is about that. It's about new cycles, having the ability and the intuition to be able to manifest what it is that you want into this world. And with the King of Cups masculines, I do feel that getting the Ten of Cups and the King of Cups here, this is about you finding emotional stability and confidence within yourself, so that you're in a position to step forward in the right way to your feminines, because you want to step forward in your power, emotionally grounded and stable, and being able to sort of discuss this connection. And no doubt you want to tell her how much you've learned, how much you've healed. We've got a Six of Cups again. So again, there's definitely apology or a discussion surrounding an emotional discussion with your feminines is on your mind at the moment, masculines. There really, really is, because that's come up not only in your headspace, but also in your heart space. So it's definitely something that I know that you're thinking about. We've also got the Justice card. Now, Justice card in tarot can be about a legal matter, but for me, I also feel a little bit about, it's more like a finding a balance, and it's getting some consistency and some balance within this connection and within yourselves. The feminine's got the Two of Pentacles, and that was again about decisions and finding balance. And I feel that this with the scales is a message to you that to focus on just balancing yourself and your energies, because I feel that if you don't concentrate on finding that balance, this is going to happen, and that's bloodshed, and you don't want that, because let's be honest, twin flames are never going to intentionally inflict pain on one another. It's been destined because you're polar opposites in different ways, but then you're the same, and it's being able to find the right balance of masculine and feminine energies within yourselves, so that you as individuals are whole, without trying to rely on that other person to fill any gaps that you've got. It's about balancing masculine and feminine within you, because once you become in union with yourself and you become whole, you're not going to be attracting halves. You're whole, your frequency is whole, therefore you're going to attract whole. And what happens as the balances and the scales tip throughout all of the triggering and the purging, which are huge bloody gifts to each and every one of you, because they're teaching you areas of yourself that needs to grow, things that you can heal from ancestral wounds right to, present day. And it's a wonderful gift of love to be able to identify what these triggers are trying to teach you. And it's only really your twin flame that's going to trigger that to make you go within and look at yourself more. It's, you do it to each other. It's a two-way thing. When people talk about the runner and chaser phase, I don't particularly like the phrase. I feel it's got like negative connotations, but what you're talking about here isn't about running away from each other. It's more like a magnet where your energies are out of sync, so you're going to sort of repel, and then if you're polar opposites, you're going to repel. So when the energies are not balanced, that's what's going to happen. Whereas if you can find balance with the energy, that will work that way, rather than the repelling part. But, that is what causes the runner chaser that people call it. It's the imbalance of energy. So balance in this journey for both divine masculine and divine feminine is key. It really, really is. Definitely. But clarifying this card is about is the Six of Cups, which again I've said is the apology, and I feel that perhaps the situation for the energies to be balanced within your connection, masculines, I feel that an apology is what needs to happen to bring balance to it. Right, we're going to pull a couple of oracle cards for you, my darlings, and then we'll bring this reading to a close. I'm going to pull you one Romance Angel Oracle card, which are by Doreen Virtue, and this will just give you a little bit of love guidance for the coming week, well, up until Monday. Let's take a little look at what this is saying. Healing family issues. Your love life benefits as you forgive your parents. So again, masculines, I'm going to read this from this. This can be about what I said, is just about healing, and there could be for some of you child wounds that need healing, that have been part of this trigger, you know, fears of abandonment, rejection, whatever it may be. And I'm just trying to find healing family issues. 41. The answers to your prayers about your love life are based in your feelings about your mother and father. The romance angels see that you benefit from releasing old anger towards one or both of them. That's because your feelings about your parents influence your choice of romantic partner. You can ask the angels to help you put forgiveness into action. So again, this could also be a little bit, when we spoke about forgiveness and getting the Six of Cups twice and knowing that perhaps there's an apology where you want to step forward and you know that the timing's not right. This could also be linked to that, you know. So I definitely, I'm really proud of you masculines, you know, so far, because taking time out and giving the connection space to breathe, both masculines and feminines, you know, it can only be a positive thing, because it gives you time, both of you, time to be the Three of Wands and contemplate and be patient and pause, slow down, process the connection in the, you know, the speed and rate that you're able to, you know, and that's individual to the person or the soul. This is an oracle card, masculines, by Doreen Virtue, but it's like a daily angel guidance card. So I'm just going to include this as part of the reading, but it's more of a sort of generalised advice for the coming week for you guys. Cupid. We send great waves of love into your heart and mind, awakening your love for life itself. Your clear decision to accept and enjoy romance has triggered this reawakening. Allow yourself to spontaneously celebrate love in all of its glorious aspects. So again, it's just again about connecting with yourself. I feel almost like this is about recognition of the connection now for you masculines, you know. Cupid's arrow, if we call it that, has struck, and you're starting to understand the magnitude of it, and how bloody blessed are we. But anyway, listen, I'm going to bring the reading to a close now, but thank you so much to everybody that watches it. I'm sorry for the waffle and the interruption midway through, but I will catch up with you guys next week. Thanks very much, and don't forget to hit subscribe. Bye, darlings.